You guys, hi, Nikki Pratt here from Jesus Wants You channel. Listen, I am so glad to have you guys today watching me. I have to hurry. I have to pick up my little girl from school here, from tutoring. You've probably heard me say before, I know when I'm supposed to be on a specific topic because it's always around me. We here, where I live, in the city where I live, there's still some domestic violence going on. And probably not just here, probably where you are. With that said, does it look like I've been crying? I don't hide anything because I have. And soon I'm going to tell you about it. Anywho, but by the way, since I've been doing these videos, I've been attacked on all sorts of levels, okay? New levels, new devils, yeah, been attacked. He ain't too happy about this domestic violence thing because, somebody's going to get delivered from it. Here in Shreveport, where I live, there's a stabbing that went on recently. Yeah. She was stabbed 30 times. 30 times. She survived. She's okay. But I'm just saying, there's been an uptick, a serious uptick in domestic violence. Violence against children, violence against women. Matter of fact, speaking about that, I think Harvest Army prophesied about that. I may be wrong, but I think they did. With that said, letting you guys know right now, there probably will be, no, ain't no probably, there will be a domestic violence part 7. I thought it was just B6, but oh no. There's some issues that happened to me that has come up that has to be told, and you have to know about it for some reason. Hey, I'm just doing my job, following the Holy Spirit, all right? Okay. Let me get moving. Okay, fast forwarding. So, part 4, Robert goes to jail. He later got out. He was angry. Oh, heck yeah. But it made him think before putting his hands on me. Because, see, last video I told you he went to jail. Okay? After 2 years living in a townhome we lived in, we later moved into a rent home. Verbal abuse, physical abuse, still went on. He had to do anger class, and he chose to do it through his uncle's church. They gave him like a little certificate, and he took it to the judge, and the letter went to certain officials, and the charges was dropped. Okay? So while living in the rent house for almost a year, it was verbal abuse, still abuse. It was no physical. It wasn't physical until later that year. Okay. One morning I was about to go to work. One of our cars was down, and he had to take me to work. The argument was over my income tax refund. Imagine that. Talking about control. Whatever I would get in a refund, he would always have a plan to make sure he used up every penny that I had. And whether it would be on a new furniture set, a big screen television, anything to control me and my money, and whatever was going to spend the money up. So anything to keep me dependent on him. And if you've been abused and you've lived with an abuser, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? So he says that I smarted off at him. So he walks by me and pushes my head into the corner of the wall and grabs me by the neck, leaving scratches. I didn't call the police, but I told my supervisor. They convinced me to take pictures to start building a case if I wasn't going to report it. So, yes, getting family members or friends or anybody in your workplace involved is important. That way, God forbid, something ever go bad, say you end up shooting him or stabbing him. God forbid. I'm just saying, you have a history, a portfolio with pictures or something showing that, it was warranted, so to speak. There was a reason he abused you. Basically, what I'm saying is you can back it up. But I'm not promoting that. I'm just saying, I'm trying to prove a point. I don't want this to be taken the wrong way. You know how people do. So, anyway, they would always come in handy. And another reason why I say that, if ever you encounter some rude, horrible cops like I have, and they treated me like I had interrupted their donut and coffee break, like why I was calling them type of thing, and being all rude, nasty, and ugly. Yeah. So you want to get pictures. It had, my experience with the cops, it had always been sometimes now, it would be like, wait a minute, serve and protect. I'm the victim. Hello. But, so that's what they would do to a woman that's being abused. Okay. If that happened, the abused woman would be like, dang, so if I call the police and I'm trying to get protected here and the policemen act like that, why call? So I just want you to know, if any of you listening is in that type of situation, ever, you feel like that the police is not helping you, then do not hesitate to call their captain. Do not hesitate to get on the phone and call somebody else out. Okay? Because they will do it. And the captain will come too. Been there, done that. Oh yeah. Just get somebody else on the scene. They are there to serve and protect. So, we then moved out of the rent house into our own house. Yeah, had my own house, my first house at 24 years old. It's actually my rent house now. I still have that house. Yeah. We owned our own house. It was crazy, but look, it appeared like things was looking up. Robert still was controlling and verbally abusive, but he felt like he was a real man because at this time he had owned his own house. Okay? So we got new flooring, new carpet, I decorated, new furniture, etc. He had a good job. I was still at the dermatologist's office, making decent money. One of the cars broke down. And we were down to one car. The twins was 2 years old. One morning on the way to work, we had a Dodge Stratus. Remember those? The Dodge Stratuses? Yeah. It had tinted windows, limo tint. He had chrome rims. That stupid bass. Yeah. Tinted light covers. The whole 9 yards. I'm telling you that for a reason. Keep listening. So when he drove it, he thought he was all that and a bag of chips. Well, I'm in the passenger seat this morning and he's driving. I pull down the visor. There's this lipstick on the visor that was not a color that I wore. So I questioned him, and he said that I was crazy. Kept driving, but he was still looking crazy. So I went to work. He was supposed to pick me up at 12 noon. He didn't. I had to get a friend to pick me up and take me home. Well, he went to work for 3 o'clock. p.m. that day in the afternoon. He was supposed to bring me the car, and I'd take him to work, get the girls, and go home. Well, I called his job. He was at work. I go home. There's donuts on the table. Well, Nikki, what's wrong with donuts on the table? Keep listening. My brand new comforter set was in the dryer. I was like this in a, this was a brand new comforter set. Why was it in the dryer? Okay, so he washed it. I went and got the kids from daycare. The next day, he had my car fixed. I went to the mall, met one of my old classmates that we both knew. Me and him both knew from high school. His name was Myron. I called Robert and told him that Myron had just got out of the military, and Robert asked for him to come by our house, and we talked. We exchanged numbers and stories. Well, I got off work one day. Myron calls. It was about 8 o'clock at night. Myron called me and said, Nikki, I thought that Stratus was y'all's. I said, it is. Myron, what are you talking about? I said, why you ask me that? He says, there is no other car around this city that looked like that car. I said, no, not really. If it is, I haven't seen one. I said, well, anyway, Robert is in it. He says, no, I swear this looks like y'all car. And I said, well, okay, well, read the license plate. So he did. The license plate matched. That was pretty much our car. So he says, Nikki, there is 2 white girls driving it. I said, really? He said, yeah, there was one, a smaller white girl, and one heavier set white girl. And I said, in our car? He said, yep. I said, okay, thanks, Myron. I'll check that out. So I'm kind of confused. So I called Robert and asked him. Of course, he lied. He said, that wasn't our car. Again, I'm crazy. Whatever. That weekend, it was late. The kids was in bed. Robert asked me if I wanted something from Burger King. I said, yeah. Put my order in. He left. It was 11 p.m. when he left. Robert didn't come back until the next day. Okay? So I'm like, what the heck? His excuse, the next day, he went to a friend's house, got drunk, and fell asleep. And I said, but you was going to Burger King. So my antennas went up. I'm on the prowl at this moment, okay? That Monday, I go to get my older daughter out of school. School said, oh, actually someone has already come and checked her out of school. I said, really? Who? And he told me it was him. I said, okay. I called Robert and asked where she was at. He said his mom's house. He was at work. So I got the twins from daycare, picked up my daughter from his mom's house. He was at work. I questioned my daughter, why did you get out of school so early? She says, I don't know. She said, but Mama, there was a black car, kind of like yours. And I said, you mean like the Stratus? She said, yeah. She said, this black car was kind of like yours on the side of the road. And Robert was talking to her. And I said, well, who was she? She says, I don't know, Mom. It was some white lady. And she said, Robert, call me when you go to lunch. I said, oh, really? Now, let me just inject this because I hear somebody talking like, why is she putting emphasis on white girl, white lady? I'm doing it for a reason. Keep listening. No, I don't want anybody to think that I'm prejudiced in any type of way. I know that when I get to heaven, we all bleed red. I don't have no problem. Actually, you see this? Oh, I have a lot of white friends, okay? Okay. Color is no problem in my book. So I'm just gonna clarify that. So somebody gets to talking, somebody always gotta say something foul. It's not like that. Trust me. Trust me. I have plenty. Okay. Anywho. So, I go straight to his job, question him. He lied to me. Said again, I was crazy. And my daughter was seeing things. So I wanted and waited till the next day. Lunch break, huh? I had my girls in the car on my way to his job. Now, in my head, I'm remembering a description. My daughter said a black car that kind of looks like mine. Myron said that there were, Myron and my older daughter said that it's a white girl. One a little heavier, one small. So I'm looking for a black car, 2 white girls. Okay. That's all I knew. So, I got that description, of course. My daughter's 6 years old at the time. She didn't know the make and model of a car. But that's all I had to go on. Well, I'm coming down the street, and a black car going towards his job was coming towards me down the street from his job. So I did a little U-turn and turned around, and I followed it. There was a black car. Sure enough, it has a smaller white girl and a heavier set white girl in it. Just like Myron said. Could have been anybody. But I followed that car. Anyway. Okay? The smaller white girl was on the passenger side in a jet black Grand Prix. I followed the car like a crazy person. They slowed down, pulled over in the parking lot. She let down the window and she said, "Is there a problem?" I said, as a matter of fact, there is. Do you know a Robert Jones? No, but I know a Robert Kareem. I said, I believe you lying. And at that time, my older daughter, stood up in the back seat and she says, "Yeah, mama, that's her. Because if it's not her, they must be twins." And then both of them look in my back seat. Bingo. That was it. You know why? Because they stomped that car and took off. Oh, yeah. And I said, "So this one on my side, T, was her?" She said, "Yep, that's her." So the girl sped off. Now, who does that? Who speeds off? Who follows a random black car and finds the culprit? Yeah, I did that. The Lord wanted me to see that. I called him at work and told him he lied. I went home furious. So mad I fell asleep on the sofa. I woke up to the phone ringing, didn't recognize the name and the number on ID. I said, "Hello?" Hi, Nikki, right?" I said, "Yes." Who is this?" "Well, I'm Jackie's friend. You chased us down today in your car?" I said, "Okay, yes, and?" "Well, I wanted you to know, or I feel you need to know, that Jackie and I have been to your house. You have a wine and navy comforter set, matching curtains, wooden canopy bed." I said, "Yeah." I said, "So, with that said, you guys been here. Okay, and your point?" "When I saw your pictures behind your sectional, I told Robert you was too pretty for him to be doing that with Jackie and messing up a beautiful family." I said, "Really?" She said, "I'm telling you that Because while they were in your bed having sex, he fed your twins donuts and milk in the kitchen. I said, well, that explains the donuts that day. Okay. She says, well, I told her to call you and break it off and call you. And she said, have she? I said, no. She said, well, I met him one night at my house 5 minutes away from you. She lives in Bossier, but I live 5 minutes away from you. And she says, they met at my house in secret. She says, she was really calling me to warn me because this Jackie girl was planning to stab me in the stomach as soon as I opened the door. And I said, stab me in the stomach? Wow. So she hung up. I called Robert and told him everything. He was just quiet the whole time. And I hung up after telling him everything. The next day, I planned my getaway while he was at work. While I was packing, Jackie calls, the girl that he had been messing with, and says he came to her house at night, threw her on the car, choked her, threatened her never to come across the bridge again to our house. And if she did, he would kill her. And I said, well, oh, and? Well, she says, I'm calling you to tell you I'm sorry and that I will like to meet you because I'm pregnant. And she says, can we meet in a park that's close to your house? I mean, I just want to show you the pregnancy test. I burst out laughing so hard. I said, number one, if you're pregnant for him, what gives you any idea that I care or even would care? And what gives you any idea that I need to see proof? Number two, at least 40% of black men or more don't or won't take care of their children. I'm just being real. At least 40%. Number three, I would never meet you at a park. You made threats to come by my house and stab me in the stomach. I said, no, you go ahead and come by my house. That way I can get to you first. And when I get you, it'll be validated because you're on my turf. I said, I'm stupid, maybe, but I'm not crazy. Stupid for being with Robert, but I'm not crazy. And I said, 4, you don't have to pretend to be pregnant. You want him, you can have him. I'm not the kind that hear, oh, he got another baby and gets mad. I said, I didn't get it with you. Now, trust me, that was in my backsliding days. What that phrase I just said, that's the clean version. But you can pretty much figure out what I said then. I got a friend and her husband to move me out of the house. And I moved with my mom. I stayed there for 6 months. 6 months. Well, you're probably saying, now where was this video going? Oh, just hold on because it gets better and better. The whole purpose of me telling y'all this, as crazy and wild as it sounds, I want you to hear these stories. Hear all the things that you can go through, the wrong decisions, the craziness, and most important, the things that can happen when you're in that type of relationship. As you can see, he had no care for me at all. And he happened to hook up with somebody that was planning to kill me that I didn't even know until earlier that day. I chased her down. It might just seem like a lot of random stuff. And some of you probably saying, well, why is she even telling that story? I think she could have left that out. Go ahead and get to the real point. Oh, part where we need to know what to do. We need to know what to watch for. No, 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 no. It is very important that you hear types of stories like this. So, as stupid as I was for staying with this idiot, but this time I did leave. I did leave for 6 months. And you'll have the next video tomorrow. But I could have been stabbed. I went and chased some girls down that I really didn't even know. They could have pulled out a gun and shot me. See the stupid decisions. Once I found out that that was them or that he was even lying, I should have packed my stuff and hit the door. Matter of fact, I should have been gone a long time ago. But these are some of the things that we as women, we go through and we put up with when we're being abused and in that wrong frame of mind where you cannot make sound judgment. Because I could have got my babies hurt. But there again, the hand of God. The hand of God was still here. Even in our wrong. Yeah. Even in our wrongs. Grace and mercy still abounds. See, God knew at some point that I would have to tell this story. It would help somebody. He knew that I was one of the chosen ones for today, of this last generation, to help anchor in and talk to people and help advance his kingdom. Grace and mercy still abounds. But just kind of think about some of the things that I've talked about in this story. And think how you would never want to put yourself in that type of situation. Or maybe you know somebody that's in that situation. And you can tell them, well, let me tell you why you need to get out. Because this can happen. You know, I know this girl named Nikki Pratt. She has this channel where she just let it all out. And she tells all her business, what happened in the past. But it's beneficial. Very beneficial. I can write a book. Very beneficial. But anywho, I'm going to stop this video and upload it. I'll probably go ahead and work on part 6 because I have a very important video to do that is way off topic from this domestic violence thing. So I'm on Jesus clock all day. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks.